Welcome to Kutch Time. Today is November 29th, 2025, and the Detroit Pistons just beat the Miami Heat 138 to 135 to move to 16-4 on the NBA season. The Pistons had to score a season-high 138 points tonight to not choke to the Miami Heat. Detroit was up 22 with just over 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, yet the Miami Heat was able to cut it to 4 with 40 seconds to go. It is a miracle that the Detroit Pistons didn't choke this away to Miami after being up so much and letting Miami go on such a big run at the end. There was still good tonight. It was a season high night for Tobias Harris. He had 26 points, an insane efficiency, 10 for 12. And it wasn't like a lot of these buckets were coming from inside the paint. A lot of them were these back down middies that Tobias Harris really loves to go. And that's like his shot that he's going to go to. A lot of his scoring opportunities came tonight just because Jalen Durden was out tonight. And Jalen Durden usually is the second highest, third highest scorer on any given night to Cade because Cade's just the MVP of this team, the workhorse of this team. But Tobias Harris had to step up with the hole that Jalen Duren's scoring had to be filled tonight. And then Cade, 29 points, 8 assists. That's kind of what you expect from him. He before this, he was last two games at a 43-point night or a 42-point night and a 39-point or 38-point night. But both had losses, so his scoring went to vain. If you take 10 less points if you win, even if it's in ugly fashion like they did today. Duncan Robinson was arguably one of the best players just on both ends, and it was a revenge game against him. It was the first game in Miami since leaving the Heat since the start of his career. He had 18 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 threes. He was a team best plus minus of plus 17. He was the only starter to have a plus minus of over 10. A lot of them by the end of the game had really bad plus minuses. Cade was the only one I think that also had a positive. I think Stu even had a negative, and then the star and Tobias Self had a negative. We'll get into that a little bit. Paul Reed had a big role to fill. When either Durden or Stu out, he's going to play those backup center minutes. And so Durden was out, so he had to play a lot more minutes than he is on a healthy night for the centers. He had stepped up into whatever you want him to be. He had 13 points, 10 rebounds, a double double for him is everything we asked for and more. He's been a really good backup center for third string center for the Pistons, and realistically might be the best third string center in the whole league. Just because Paul Reed is not a third stringer, Paul Reed can easily be a backup center for most teams in the NBA. And then Danis Jenkins, he's a guy that a few weeks ago had this huge run, had this huge with all these injuries. He steps up, he's scoring a lot, he's getting 15 plus points a game, he's leading the offense, he's being the point guard with Cade out. 9 points, 4 assists. He did that in 14 and a half minutes. I don't get why he's not getting more minutes. Um, Obviously, I get we're trying to work Ivy into this lineup and trying to get Ivy into this like point guard for the bench role. However, right now it's not working. In the past two games we've lost, semi because of it. And well, at least it has helped. So Danis Jenkins has shown he can be the backup, at least the backup point guard on this team, and help us win night in night out. And he does that again tonight. And he's shown that in the minutes he gets, he's just not getting enough minutes. And that's also the problem with 12-man rotations. Like you just these lower bench guys just aren't getting 2 to 3 more minutes that they should be getting because you're getting the 11th and the 12th man in when you don't really need to. That's just not how modern NBA works. You're running a 9 or a 10-man rotation. 12 is just way too many to feed everyone who wants to get minutes. And Danis Jenkins is hurting because of that. And today, we can't do that because Durant and Karis LeVert are out. So we're starting the rotation a little bit. So Danis Jenkins is a lot of thrive a bit more and shows that he needs more minutes. He should be getting a lot more backup point guard minutes and ball handling minutes with Ivy still struggling to come back. I mean, it's only I think Ivy's fourth game back, fifth game back maybe, and it's just Ivy's just not ready to for how good we are right now and us being first. He's not good enough to take over the ball handling bench role right away. He come with time he probably can, but right now he's just not ready. Um, there was bad tonight, obviously, choking a game like that. There's 21 turnovers, which is insane. The average for teams are like 12 to 14. So you're getting basically a whole other quarter and a half of turnovers in this game, and a lot of it was Katie had 8 turnovers today, which is terrible. Turnovers is really bad. You don't want more than 3 turnovers, 5 turnovers. Let's say 5 turns how ball dominant Cade is, and it was almost 3 possessions in a row during this Heat, I think Heat went on 13-0 run, and that's what really helped them to cut the lead. They go on this huge run. Cade Cade just turns over the ball way too much, and it's terrible. It's not good. It can't happen. And Asar had three, Tobias had three, and that definitely showed the plus minus. Plus minus Cade was like +2, but Asar was negative 17, and Tobias was negative 14. And at one point, those guys were probably both positive 17 and positive 14. It's just because they got them this lead. The bench really helped us, like Ron Holland and the Paul Reed and Duncan Robinson. Those are the guys that helped get the lead. It wasn't really the stars too much this time, and then the stars kind of come in the fourth quarter to close it out, and then they give up giant runs to the Miami Heat, let them get back in. Obviously, they were able to close it out, but still, they let them get back into the game, which is just not good. You can't do that if you want to be a competitive team. You can't let a 22-point lead with 8 minutes to go make it seem like you're about to lose, you're about to choke the game away. Um, and then next game will be a test. Is Monday night against the Hawks. The Hawks are a good team. They're a top six team in the East at least. They're definitely going to be a playoff team. They have very good players. They have Jalen Johnson. They have Chris Tapps. They have one of the best defensive wing guys in Dyson Daniels. So they're going to have to prove it again. Prove that they still got it. They beat the Hawks the last time pretty easily. They versed them, and we know the Pistons are a very good team. They won 13 in a row, but the last three games that have been shaky, and a lot of it's come down to the rotation. So hopefully JB Bickerstaff can figure that out. Hopefully the guys like Duran and Caris LeVert will be back and healthy. But once those guys come back, we can't run a 12-man rotation. A 12-man rotation does not work in the modern NBA. It can work for some games, but on a consistent basis, you got to have your guys going, and if you're cutting their minutes short, they're just not going to have the time they need to get hot. And when they get hot, they're going to be out because you got to get the guys their minutes that you say you want them to get. Um, it worked the first time we did it, but at this point, after losing those two games in a row and a shaky win like today and the shaky win like we had against the Pacers, I just don't. We shouldn't do it. There's a reason other teams don't. So hopefully we can figure it out and get the win Monday night. Thank you.